I'm Maeve Leonzi. I'm here with Dr. Syamal. Can you please tell us a bit about who you are and what you do?
My name is Mausumi Syamal. I'm a voice and airway surgeon at Lehigh Valley Hospital.
Can you tell us a little bit more about your field and what you do?
Sure. So I'm an otolaryngologist, board certified. Otolaryngology is what a lot of people know as ear, nose, and throat surgery. However, I'm fellowship trained in voice and airway surgery called a laryngologist. So technically, I'm a laryngologist that does just voice and airway surgery at Lehigh Valley Health Network.
So what did your path look like to get where you are today?
So I've had a very interesting path to get where I am today. I started off as an engineer. So I actually have an undergraduate degree in engineering from Duke University. And then I went on to do a master's in mechanical engineering at the University of Michigan. Then I worked for General Motors. And in between working for General Motors and starting medical school, I actually worked as an actor and a singer on Broadway. So when I finally started medical school, I really had done everything I'd ever wanted to do in life. And I knew that medicine was my passion. And so it's no surprise I chose voice and airway surgery because it really melds all the things that I've done in my life, including some teaching.
So being on Broadway, did that kind of push you to what kind of practice you're doing today?
It definitely made me aware of how important the voice is. We really take the voice for granted. There's a lot of people that don't know how important it is for them until they don't have it. And for performers, certainly, their voice is everything. It's their livelihood. And it gave me a real deeper appreciation for what it could mean to not be able to use your voice on a day-to-day basis.
Have you encountered any struggles along your journey of switching so many jobs?
I've encountered struggles. Everyone encounters struggles, not necessarily in switching fields because it was such a nice, seamless transition for me, moving from one passion through all my other passions. The struggles I faced are often struggles that women face being in a predominantly male-oriented field. I am the only female Black or brown surgeon in the Department of Surgery. And so sometimes viewing the world through that lens can be challenging and can sometimes provide struggles that I didn't necessarily have coming into this position. And so struggles are everywhere. I wouldn't even consider them struggles, but things that force me to adjust and adapt to who I'm treating, who I'm working with, and the environment that I'm in.
Do you feel there are any difficulties due to your gender and your race?
It's tough. Yes, I do. I absolutely do. And I think we're all learning and our eyes are opening to subtle ways in which the world is different for women of color, especially Black and brown women. And I think there's difficulties and then there's opportunities to educate. And the one thing I'll say is that I never turn down an opportunity to educate and use a situation to help make my environment better for everybody.
Are there any other women in your practice that are with you?
We have one other general ENT in our practice that is a woman.
Do you guys share a special relationship or anything since you are the only two together?
Sure. Because of our specialties, our schedules don't line up where we're not sharing the same clinic space often. So while I don't see her often, we're very supportive of each other.
Yeah. So what does Women's History Month mean to you?
Wow. Women's History Month means a lot of things to me. It means not only celebrating and recognizing the monumental women that have led us to have all the wonderful rights and freedoms that we have today, but to also realize we as women are making history every day. And so to be thoughtful in the way we lead our lives, to be brave in the actions that we take to move forward, and just to realize that we're somebody else's role model. So it's about celebrating the shoulders we stood on, but also realizing people will be standing on our shoulders too.
Yeah, and you're showing everyone and little girls behind us that you can do whatever you want.
Absolutely.
Yes, I totally agree. Do you think being a woman impacted your journey to where you are today?
Wow. I really grew up in a household where my mom was an engineer and she was the one woman out of her 5 brothers. And so she really raised us, me and my sister, to just believe that we could do anything that men could do. So I was fortunate that I attacked my life and the world thinking that I could do whatever I can do, and whatever I want to do, I'm going to be able to pursue it. So I definitely have experienced that the world isn't always possessing that view, but I've always been led to believe that I could do whatever I want.
Yeah, so you said your mom was an engineer?
Yes.
Did you ever feel forced to go into that category because of her, or did you truly want to do it?
So my parents were both engineers.
Okay.
And they really came here to this country with not a lot. And the one thing they instilled in us is that you just have to be able to be in a profession where you can reasonably and consistently provide for your family. So they said, whatever you do your best in it. Did they suggest engineering? They did suggest engineering because that was the path that they knew had worked. But they were open to any path. Initially, however, it was them suggesting I do engineering that I went into the field. And miraculously, I found really, really great things in engineering that I love and carry with me to today, even though it's not what I technically practice every day.
Yeah, that's awesome. So what do you feel your future holds for you?
Wow. So the one thing I've learned in going from all these different steps in my life is that you have to just be open for innovation. And so I never thought when I started med school that I would be a voice and airway surgeon. To be honest, I didn't even know they existed. So it was one of those things where I was just open to trying to find out what my passions are. And so I love being a surgeon. I anticipate I'll be a surgeon to the very end. But I'm also open to finding other ways to help uplift women, help and educate my environment. And so I'll draw on anything, including my, performing, my teaching, my engineering, time and time again to try to expand my horizons and do different things. So surgery is definitely in my future, but I'm also open to innovation.
Yeah. All right, well, thank you.
Oh, I'm very happy to share that with you.